It's important to note we're not here to make your life harder. We're trying to make it easier. We're trying to remove a lot of that IT frustration, that tech frustration.
When I'm the best version of myself, I'm looking at our clients like they're my mom.
Most MSPs are break-fix model. We're really focused on the protection, the prevention before anything even breaks.
Behind the scenes, ahead of the curve, the power of our PPA team. Tim, why don't you start out? What is PPA?
Don't mess it up.
Protection, prevention, and automation.
Yeah. To start this episode out, I really want to talk about our favorite bands.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
was not expecting that question.
I know. And Ryan, like, you are the perfect person for this because Mitten Music, right? That's your personal podcast.
That's my jam.
So why don't we start with you? Favorite band and why? And I would think, let's try to rate it by performance. Like if you've seen them live.
Okay.
I would say that my number one band in all the years that I've been absolutely in love with music has been probably
Pearl Jam.
No, what I'm going to answer with is not going to surprise anyone. It's Tool. Some of those guys in that band Tool, are some of the best musicians that have ever lived. Danny Carey, the drummer specifically, he is absolutely amazing. You cannot talk to someone who is in love with music that doesn't know who that guy is. He will be known for hundreds of years into the future.
Tim, you favorite band? Why?
I would have at one time said Switchfoot. It's been so long now, and it holds so much nostalgia. But I would say in the last 5 to 10 years, no, I do like Pearl Jam, but 5 to 10 years, I would say a band called Bear's Den. You and I went to their show.
Bear's Den, yeah.
We went to
Bear's Den.
Yeah, went to the Pyramid Scheme. In Grand Rapids.
That's my fave. That's my jam.
Fun fact, I saw Fiber and Frenzy there as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Pyramid Scheme for a second?
Yeah.
Because
great bar.
Yeah, their stage, it feels like exclusive.
Yeah.
Like when you go, you're like, oh, I've got a ticket.
Well, it's because it's like a bar and a pinball bar.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you like do a wink and they're like, okay, we'll let you in the back.
Yeah. Shae, what about you?
I don't know who I would say my favorite artist is, but if we're going based off of performance in live shows, Odessa.
Oh yeah. I love Odessa.
I saw
that's
them
good.
at Electric Forest.
Yeah.
2023.
Okay.
I think. It was awesome. There was a drum line. There we go.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's so cool.
I'm sure you have.
Electronic.
Yeah.
Electronic.
If I sent you a song, I bet you would know.
Okay.
No, the reason that I asked that question is because I was thinking about PPA and really the role that this department plays for us, and it led me to thinking about one of the, I didn't even get to see this live, but I saw like this recorded version of a Coldplay concert. And I remember watching it and just being like, man, number one, can't imagine what it would be like to be at the concert. Because they had like these big screens in the background and it was playing all these like different colors and like, I don't know. It was a great show. You could tell it was a great show and a great experience. And then I thought to myself, you know what nobody thinks about is the people in the black shirts putting it on. You know what I mean? Nobody's thinking about the people that put up the stage.
The 13 semi-trailers that had to bus everything in. And
Nobody's thinking about how many nuts and bolts it took to even get those screens mounted. The probably, endless hours, 24 hours of setting up the stage that it takes to make a good, healthy production and show, right?
And then tear it down and do it the next night.
Tear it down, load it all up,
Yep.
bring it, and it's in it. Like, can you imagine? First and foremost, I would think that in a position like that, you have to do it for somewhat because you love it, right? Because that type of a job can be so thankless. Yeah. It's just day in, day out, doing the things so that Coldplay can look awesome, right? Because they are, like, they put on a great show. They've got great talent, experience, all of that stuff. And so as I was thinking about the PPA team, I'm like, you guys are the black shirts in the background setting up the
I think
stage.
it gives us more credit than we're doing. But
No, I do
They have a
not.
thankless job, is what he's saying.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I love this analogy. That's great. That's perfect.
And I think like the reality of it is you guys are that. In the job that you have can be thankless at times. And so I think you guys are such an intricate piece of what we do here to make sure that our clients are healthy and to make sure that we have a healthy business, really. And so we're going to talk today a little bit about why PPA is so different from our competitors and what we offer through the services that you guys provide that allow for us to be on top of our game and making sure that our clients are taken care of on a security front, are taken care of on an update front, all of that stuff. And so, Tim, tell me a little bit about PPA and your experience, because you've been here since the beginning of PPA.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, even before PPA. And I think, when I interviewed, I was coming from a different MSP. I came here, and this was one of the key differentiators in my mind. I've been at 3 different MSPs now, and seeing that we do this here, it's the only one that we've ever done anything remotely like this. I think, Ryan, you and I were talking about earlier that you were like, yeah, this is way different than anything I've ever seen. And really what it comes down to is it's the focus on the stuff that no one really likes to do, or the big flashy stuff isn't there. And so it's the Windows patching, it's the server patching, it's the testing of alarms, it's the making sure firmware is up to date, it's working, like it's all of those things that, you don't necessarily want to do or necessarily think to do or isn't the fun job to do, but it's dedicating time to be able to do those things so that life doesn't punch you in the face when one of those things becomes corrupt or vulnerable or, whatever the multitude of things that they could be. And so it's a dedicated, out of your monthly spend, let's say, it's a dedicated amount of hours or time frame that we do those things to maintain so that we know that we have a good environment.
And to tag along with that, it's not just it's not like there's a book to say, hey, this is how you do Windows patching. This is how you do patching for all these other applications that you might have. There's an understanding of what you're doing maintenance on and why you're doing it, when you're doing it, what you need to hold back on, what you need to push for. There's a whole mentality around it and a technology advantage and perspective that gets so much deeper that like I'm pulling out details on what you're saying, but I don't want anybody to think that maintenance is a thing you need to do. Maintenance is a thing you need to understand about it. There's a value in it. And when you put your dollars into these, whether it's a cloud server, a physical server, a host server, a virtual server, laptops, desktops, engineering machines, on the shop floor, on the top floor, like it doesn't matter. There's understanding around each and every type of device, what's it needs, because not all of them are the same. Office worker, executive, there's understanding on what needs to be done. And I feel like so many people do not, it's just hey, click some buttons, run some updates. That's the base. But understanding is a completely different thing, which we do here at InsITe.
Yeah, it's quite the dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's some of the differentiation that we have because, we've got, Shae and I do a lot of the maintenance side of things, including Shae does a lot of the onboarding here as well for new clients as part of what we do as PPA. But on the other side of that, we've got a Lyle who does the monthly maintenance to make sure things are where they need to be. And then we've got somebody else wearing a security hat. We've got Benjamin wearing a security hat.
Yeah.
And so it is very, very collaborative, but we all care about different things. And that's really what makes us better. is because I look at it from a patching, how do we keep it updated? How do we make sure that feature updates are going out and we don't patch this bad patch or like all of those things. But Benjamin wears the security side of things. And so I can go to him and say, hey, this is what we need to do. He's like, well, this is vulnerable. Okay, well, that affects this. Let's talk to Lyle when they're next mate. And so it's very collaborative, but it does lend itself to working better because it's someone focused on it instead of me as a sysadmin. If I was a one man in charge of 50 computers sitting there and being like, well, I got to go fix that printer and I need to put in a new AP there. And oh yeah, I guess I need to patch.
Yeah.
And so having someone focused on those specific items helps things go smoother.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think a lot of our competitors or people that might be in the tech industry would say, well, yeah, we do maintenance as well. Like we're going to do our feature updates. We're going to do the things that we need to do when Microsoft is putting out new updates and all that stuff. But I think what Ryan, you touched on, and Tim, you touched on as well a bit, is kind of more of that holistic perspective when you're like, oh man, okay, yeah, I can see that we have a segregated network here on the shop floor because we're running 20-year-old CNC machines.
Yep.
And so we have some things that we need to do here. Or if we're updating this, what does our office network then, how is that going to be speaking to our shop floor network? Or if we've got shop floor visibility and we're doing an update here, how does that impact our update over here? And what do we need to make sure that is being taken care of so that everything is flowing and working together?
Yeah, and then throw in security into that.
Yeah.
So like a CNC that's 20 years old that's still running a Windows 7, well, that's vulnerability. How do we manufacture, how do we set up this network to make sure the vulnerability is limited there?
Yeah.
So whether that's throwing it on a VM or, what does that look like so that we are the most secure with the hand that we've been dealt? Because I could go to you and say, hey, Travis, you need to replace that CNC that's on Windows 7 and be like, yeah, that's $150,000.
More than that.
Right.
More than
it's
that.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, I can't justify that right now just
Yeah.
because you say it's out of compliance.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, first off, it's Microsoft saying it's out of compliance, not me. But it's like one of those things. And even, I don't know how soon this podcast is going to come out, but we're a month away from Windows 10 being end of life.
Yeah, it'll be that month. So it'll be this
like
month.
October.
Yeah.
October 17th, I believe, is the day.
14th.
It's 14th. Thank you, Shae.
Shae's on keeping us straight.
Windows 10 is end of life.
Yeah.
And so it's like we've had a year-long, this is what needs to happen. How can we help? This is what needs to happen. And then even inside of that, there are certain implications based on security and encryption and like all of those things that if you're not thinking about, all of a sudden it's October 13th, you got tomorrow to get it done by.
You got it.
And you're vulnerable.
Yeah. So I think we've been kind of hinting at this specifically between Ryan and Tim. You guys have the most MSP experience here. Tell me the difference between reactive service that most have experienced compared to the proactive. So prevention, protection, and automation, PPA. What is that preventative? What does that prevention actually mean? If you could give me like 3 markers of what the differentiator would be, what would that be?
I could say I can only speak to how ineffective and unfortunate.
Yeah, say the thing.
When we're talking about the PPA related parts and pieces at previous MSPs that I've worked at, it was not taken as seriously. So a sales guy for an MSP will go out and sell you on services, right? And then he'll take all the information and regurgitate it to the team, and they have to work with what they got. It's unfortunate that they could say things like, we are proactive and we were going to maintain your environment, when in reality, the team on the back end's taking it and not taking things seriously, not having any plan of attack, just, hey, every month we're going to remote into every server you guys have because we don't have automation set up, because we're not going to pay the money to do that. We're going to manually just hit update on your Windows server, and then it's going to ask us to reboot it, and we're going to reboot it. Do you know how many times a physical server has not come back up because it was way too old to be taking these updates, or maybe a myriad of other reasons, and having to go on site in the middle of the night, and then maintenance that we're going to take care of you turned into several hundreds of dollars in after hours extra charges because of A, B, and C. Oh, you didn't read the fine print in our agreement. We said we're going to take care of maintenance, but we had to go on site, your server didn't come up. It just didn't make sense to me. And not only that, so many problems and vetting updates and understanding, like I said earlier, understanding what machines are getting what and why, and are we paying attention to, hey, is this a legit update? It was never a good experience for myself, as I wasn't doing that work myself. I was doing it because other people weren't, because I cared about my clients, and that's kind of how I kind of scapegoated through the whole thing. But my gosh, I just am blown away by the things I've seen in the past compared to how we do things correctly here at InsITe.
Okay, I like that. So there's a good summary there. What are the things that we're doing correctly, Tim?
Yeah, it really, in my mind, starts and begins with the MPM process, which is a monthly preventative maintenance. Shae will talk about it here in a second, because she does this for some of our clients. But really what it comes down to, my jaw dropped when I saw it coming from 2 different MSPs to here. Because everywhere, just like Ryan's experience, everywhere I've ever been has been, oh yeah, we do preventative maintenance. We'll do maintenance. And it really, what it came up to was, when there's a real problem, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
When it's like, it's taking updates fine, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you have backups. We're not going to check them, but you have backups.
Yes.
We sold them to you, and we set it up, and we set it up right. So it should be fine. But it's like those types of things. Yeah, like I said, it starts and ends with our MPM process, or monthly preventative maintenance. I don't know if I said that yet.
Yeah.
But it's what it is it's an allocation of hours each month to run through. We've got a subset of what it all takes, but that first month of the MPM is us going through and saying, what do you have? This server, we're going to check these services, make sure it's running, make sure it's up to date, make sure patch compliance is where it's at, and then making sure firmware is updated, make sure that the hardware is okay. Like, all of those things are things that we go through, and then it's looking through AD, and it's like, why don't you start talking about some
I was
of those?
going to say,
going,
we
Shae.
also give a lot of recommendations as well.
Yeah.
It's, hey, here's things that are saying it looks good, but here's how we can make it even better.
Yeah.
So looking at Microsoft Secure Score, what are some things that we can implement to increase security, things like that?
Already you're talking about more than just maintenance
Right.
that a normal MSP. You just said M365, Microsoft licensing, or the admin center, taking a look at that. That's not a thing that other MSPs might consider maintenance.
Well, even like Active Directory, looking at users that are more than 90 days old. It's like, if they're not in there, let's get rid of them. That's a security
That's not
potential
maintenance for
vulnerability.
so many MSPs out there.
And so it's like, we're
bonkers.
looking through those things because we want to do what we say we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been places that don't intentionally lie, but it's, hey, we will deal with those things when they come up. Well, for sure, we've got you.
Yeah.
But this is a proactive rather than a reactive.
Which just shows how we differentiate from MSPs again. Most MSPs are break-fix model. We're really focused on the protection, the prevention before anything even breaks.
Yeah.
Shae, would you say the MSP model is broken?
Listen,
Not ours.
So I don't know that we've ever been this explicit. And so we're probably going to get ourselves in trouble with some of our competitors, and then also, technical partners in some way, which I'm actually okay with.
I'll take the heat.
Yeah,
I'll
don't
take the heat. I'll take it all.
Our CEO actually says, I'm here to upset the market. And so the reality of it is this is one of the differentiators that stands out the most, and it's the easiest for us to talk about because we're like, hey, we're gonna make sure you're protected. We're not gonna like come back and be like, oh, you got breached, or oh, there's a problem, so now we're gonna make sure you're protected. No, we want to get ahead of it.
And that makes me think of 2 different things. The other 2 MSPs that I've dealt with, they've had like it was almost a monthly occurrence with vulnerabilities and breaches and things like that we had to go to. I wanted to speak to something you said, going on site for a patch that went bad. I've been here 5 years. I haven't done it once.
Yeah.
Wow.
Knock on that wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine saying that, but because I'm confident in what we're doing.
That is honestly impressive.
Speaking of prevention, that leads me to my next question, which is what is something that, you know, the PPA team has engaged in on a preventative level that the clients don't really know or understand?
Yeah. So Windows 10, we talked about it earlier, reaching end of life October 14th. About a year ago, we were like, hey, this is going to come quick. It's a year away, but it's going to fly by. Mm-hmm. So I pulled a report of, hey, here's all of our clients that are on Windows 10, the machine, the users, all of that. Let's get a plan in place. Mm-hmm. Here are the ones that are compatible. We need to update those to Windows 11. Here are the ones that are not compatible. We need to get a replacement plan in order.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we were able to get that in front of the client and say, hey, here's how we're going to plan this that works best with your strategy, your financial year, all of that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect example. What about on the updating side of things, or like automation side of things, Tim?
Yeah, I think of the one that's top of mind right now is the latest Windows update for 24H2. You know, with the change from 10 to 11, it had always said that you'd have to have secure boot, which is an encrypted hard drive, and there was a way to get around that. Windows intentionally left a way around that. Yeah. But now with the latest feature update that's been out came out last year, they said that's gone. It has to have secure boot. And so we are now in the process of saying, is this machine worth updating? Is this machine, does it make more sense because it's 4 years old? Do you want to, instead us spending the money to go ahead and enable that and update that? Does it make more sense to purchase something new? Let's talk about our workstation refresh program, which is also a part of the PPA. That is, hey, how many machines do you have? How often do you want to refresh? What does that look like quarterly? What does that look like yearly? We can do that refresh for you. We can set them all up for you. Those types of things to help streamline some of those things that you don't want to do or don't have the staff to do, so that we can help you with those things. But it's stuff like that. The sysadmin who's the Lone Ranger or just a small team doesn't want to do or doesn't have time to do. And so it's those types of things that we try to stay up on so that we can give a plan, because it would be absurd to say, hey, it goes end of life next month. Why don't you buy 50 computers?
Right.
We know that's not realistic.
Yeah.
When you say secure boot, that makes me think the hardware itself. Is that in relation to Windows BitLocker?
It's not Windows BitLocker. It is something that's edited in the BIOS. And so you can enable secure boot.
That's what I wanted you to clarify, because that question gets asked a lot.
Sure.
Do I need to use Windows BitLocker? And in my head, I'm like, you're not using Windows BitLocker?
You know, you should be. But this is something in the BIOS that you can enable. The downside here is that's one of the very few things that you need to be in front of to fix.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is someone on your team going to do that, or sending out someone to do that. And that's where the cost can be extravagant. And you have to weigh one way or the other. Does it make sense? Now, you know, Lenovo, everybody, Dell's, they're all shipping with secure boot now.
Yeah.
But they weren't 3 years ago. And so it's going back through those and saying, is this old? Does it make sense to replace? So you don't have some of that technology debt and those types of things. But it's that coming up with that plan. And we come to you with I just sent an email this morning saying, this is the plan that I have for you. Tell me what doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And let's shift accordingly.
Cool.
So I love that, and I want to take that for a second, because I think if you are in a position where, let's say you're in a manufacturing industry, you're an IT director of some kind or whatever, and you might be watching this and thinking, well, goodness, we have our own NPM process, or we don't need to, you know, be in a partnership where somebody's just going to come in and tell us what we need to do and take over everything. You know, we have what we call our fully managed clients, and that's probably more of a relationship where we're going to say, hey, you know, we're going to take on most of that risk because you don't have an on-site, you know, technical resource, and so we're going to probably, implement what our standard MPM and DPM process would be, daily preventative monitoring and monthly preventative maintenance. And then what's the difference between our fully managed, which I just described, and then our co-managed, where maybe we have a sysadmin or an IT director that's like, hey, I've got some internal resources that will handle this part of the MPM. Are we okay with being flexible on that side?
Yeah, it's more fun that way, at least for me.
It's so fun, isn't
It's
it?
way more fun because it feels like I have, part of the reason I loved going into IT, I'm not classically trained. Can you say that? I'm not classically trained.
Classically trained.
We understand.
I didn't go to college for IT. But one of the things I always really liked about it is it feels like I'm helping people that I really like. And that's what's true with some of our co-managed clients. I addressed a client of ours that I'm very friendly with. I sent him a message yesterday and said, yo. And like that's how, because it feels like a coworker where I say, hey, I'm seeing these things. What do you not want to do? What don't you know how to do? And what do you just want us to do?
Yeah.
And so it's really up to them. I can identify things and then just say, what do you want our involvement to look like?
Yeah.
It's because I want to make you better. And
Slow down, Tim. You're saying you don't just hit check boxes that say update now, reboot at midnight.
Yeah, believe it or
You're
not,
saying
no.
you
Yeah.
don't do just that?
Believe it or not, no. And so it's really fun to go and say, this is what I'm seeing. Do you guys have a plan for that?
Yeah.
I talked to one of our clients the other day and I was like, listen, you guys have a ton of machines on Windows 10. It is it's scary that we're a month away. Yeah. And they said, oh, we're redoing all of those, and all 100 of those machines, I've got them on my desk. I'm reforming it, matting them this month, and they'll be done by the 14th. Sweet.
Awesome.
Sounds great. I'm not concerned about those. What about this subset? Oh yeah, we're going to have to address those.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want my help with that? Yeah. Can you? Sure. What do you want that to look like? And so it's a conversation. I went in thinking we had 300 to do. We had 75. Because they had a plan already, and it's just us talking back and forth. You focus on that. If you need my help, I'll focus on this, and we'll get it done together.
I think what's so fun about this, especially on a business level, is it gives us the opportunity to collaborate with so many. I mean, our clients are our clientele are different industries. Some are in manufacturing, some are in banking, some are in all of that stuff, and so it gives us the opportunity to collaborate with so many people. Well, that also gives us the experience to say, oh, this is what I've dealt with over here, and my experience will translate over here as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
I love that piece. Shae, for you, when you're working through, a collaborative space like that, what's some of your favorite interactions or favorite pieces of that co-managed space?
I just love the relationship building of it.
Yeah.
And also being exposed to other kinds of companies, different IT infrastructure, all of that.
Yeah, sure.
When I first started, Tim would put me in chats with certain clients and to introduce me, and he'd send gifts and be like, "Hey, this is Shae." And I'm like, "Is this how the professional world is?"
I don't know that I should be used as a yardstick.
No, but
It's called being a partner.
Yeah.
it's right, because with our co-managed clients, we're not
partners.
replacing your
No.
IT. We're
Yeah.
trying
We're a
to
part of it.
empower you. We're trying to
Correct.
build that partnership. So I think it's cool that you almost feel like you're part of the same team, which you are,
Yeah.
but you get to do that also in separate spaces as well.
Yes. And I think
cool.
Protection, prevention, automation. I think what's so funny about your job and then your team is, I think people think automation. Oh man, these people are just in the background. You guys are in the background often, but every single one of you are such personable people.
Oh, maybe not every one of us.
Yeah, not Tim.
Yeah, not me.
No, there are a couple, but I mean, for the most part, that team is so unique in personality, and you guys are some of the most fun people that we have. How do you keep that personal touch when you are talking about behind the scenes things like your preventative maintenance, your automated scripts, the way that you protect? How do you keep that personal touch moving?
Well, I feel like this is kind of a misconception that some people have. Is automation's not replacing all the things I do in my job. It's just taking the mundane tasks and freeing up my time to do the more, I don't want to say important, because all of it is important.
Sure.
But just the things that need to be more hands-on.
Hmm.
So we're automating the patching, so I don't need to remote in like how you were talking about
Right.
once a month and
To manually click
off.
things.
And also like we can set it so, okay, this is compliant, don't give it this, give it that, XYZ.
Yeah.
And another thing too is it also frees up time for our other clients as well. Bringing it back to Windows 10 end of life, we have a script that can update Windows 10 machines to Windows 11. So, hey, I don't want my business day to be interrupted. Cool, leave your computer on. I'll run it at 10 p.m. And you don't need to touch it.
Yeah.
There is effort put into thought and execution into what you just said more than anybody knows. You kind of just said it like it was an easy thing. That's not an easy thing to do, and I'm so proud of our team that you can say that without a thought.
Yeah.
When I'm the best version of myself, I'm looking at our clients like they're my mom. Stick with me. Stick with me.
We're here for the
Jam.
ride. We're here
Stick
for
with
the
me.
ride.
Do your mom voice
Shout
real
out
quick.
I'm
Mrs.
not going to do my
Austin.
mom voice.
Please. It's so good.
Sharon Austin's the best.
She is the best.
She can get around a computer fine, but she doesn't know the ins and outs. And so when I'm scripting or when I'm coming up with a plan or when I'm doing those types of things, I try to write the communication or write the my plan of attack in a way that my mom would understand.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, I know my mom wants to get things done. She's type A. She wants to get things done. She wants to knock things off a list, like all of those things. So that means I'm not updating her computer at noon on a Tuesday because she's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So how do I do this in a way that is going to be accommodating but still get the thing done? So for instance, this feature update that we are doing right now, we've talked about feature updates a lot. My plan of attack that I've been doing with our clients is I've written a couple of different scripts. One that will just apply the update and it will reboot when it wants to. It's kind of a grenade pull of you pull the grenade and it goes off when it goes off. The other one is a pop-up message that says we need to update. It will require a reboot. It should take about an hour. You can work while it's working, but it's going to reboot. And you have an option to say yes, or you have an option to say no. And there's a feature of the a portion of one of the script has an auto yes. So if you don't touch it for 90 seconds, it will choose yes. The other one has an auto no. So if you don't click it, and so we can be accommodating and run this once a week, let's say, with an auto no for 3 weeks so people can get it, so people have time,
You're
so they
giving
know
the
it's
chance.
coming, so they get the chance. And then we have to, as time goes out, as the window gets closer, get a little bit more aggressive. So maybe we switch it to a yes. And then we do with that for 2 weeks. And then we reach out to our partner and say, hey, these 12 machines still haven't gotten it. Do you want us to tackle them or would you like to tackle them? And so it's one of those things where I want to, you asked, how do you keep your personality? How do you keep the relationship?
Personal touch.
And
yeah.
it's like, that's how you do it. Is these aren't computers sitting on a desk with mindless people behind them.
Yep.
It's like everybody's just trying to get their job done. And like work is stressful enough as it is. There are things that we need to get done for security, for all of these reasons. But let's do it in a way that makes the most sense. I think of a previous MSP that I was a part of. Shae just talked about the Windows 10 to 11 script. We sent one person out for 3 days to update from 7 to 10.
No.
Manually with flash drives.
Manually with flash drives.
Yeah. My God.
So
that's what I was used to.
We
back
now
in the day.
have the ability to do it overnight if the computer's in the right state.
remotely.
Remotely. And so it's things like that yes, it takes investment in the time to, whether it's if you've got a monthly balance with us or whatever that looks like, it's like, oh, you're taking, this many hours to do maintenance. Well, it's more than just that. It's those things so that we can be accommodating for you when the time comes that you need it.
It's important to note we're not here to make your life harder. We're trying to make it easier. We're trying to remove a lot of that IT frustration, that tech frustration.
For sure.
So we want to work with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's talk about strategy for a second. PPA strategy. When you're thinking about a client or you're thinking about an organization that really needs to be, or that really wants to take a strategic approach to their technology, how important are tools?
Tools are paramount. It's literally what we base everything we do on. And so it's picking good tools so that we are able to leverage those tools to be able to make sure that we have the most secure and most effective environment that we can. So that's picking a good antivirus tool. That's picking a good content filtering tool. That's picking a good RMM so that we can remote in and do patching and do all of those things. But having not just picking the right one, but having mastery over them. So we know how they interact. We know how they install. We know the quirks. We know because they are with everything. And knowing in our PPA team, we each kind of take one that we're kind of the best at.
Yeah.
We obviously have coverage a bunch of different places, but having the right tools so that we know that we can sleep soundly.
Yeah.
So hey,
and tools that aren't disruptive to the users.
Explain that. Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I think when you talk about tools in general, in my past, and I'm not technical at all, but I do remember like getting on computers or like logging on for the morning, and then all of a sudden my computer's like bogged down because such and such has to upload or update or whatever. When you're talking about, hey, we want a tool to work for you and not against you, or one that makes sense for you. What's InsITe's approach to that?
We want them to be almost invisible to you.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the correct term to use.
no, I think that's good.
But it's more for us to see the in-depth of all of that. We want to protect you. We don't want you to be worrying about it.
We're the client is paying us to take care of the things.
Exactly. And
we don't need anything else in their way.
No.
Their end user's way, their CFO's way, their CTO's way.
And again, that's all back to not wanting to interrupt the user's day. And
Tools are for
scheduling
us to do our
things-
job better for them.
Exactly.
And for
exactly.
clarification, we've talked about co-managed and fully managed.
Yeah.
With co-managed, every tool that we have, we can give co-managed access to.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in the antivirus that we use, go nuts. I'll give you what you want in there. It's collaborative. So whatever we want. And we also like to have our current tool set is multi-layered, almost so like if there's one point of failure, we catch it somewhere else so that we can sleep soundly, because all software is not prone or free of any vulnerabilities. That's just the world that we live in. But if one were to fail or get corrupted or for whatever reason, it should catch it on one of the other ones, that the way that we have filtered and the way that we've layered our tool set. I'm really happy with our tool set right now.
And here's an expansion on that. I recently got into argument discussion with someone on LinkedIn from a competing MSP, and his tout to everyone was that MSPs use too many tools. And
Can there really ever be too many?
So his ammo for that was bogging down your machine. And my response to him, and we took it to private messages and had a good back and forth, is there can never be too many tools if you're using them correctly, you're configuring them correctly, and they're used for the right reasons. Your client should never be affected by the tool at all. If they are affected, you are not doing something correctly.
You got it.
Yeah, if it's being bogged down, you don't have it configured correctly.
Absolutely.
That's just the answer.
Yeah.
We at our most highest SMS platform package, we could have 14 to 16 tools. Other MSPs might say we use 4 tools. And I'm thinking, how in the world are you that efficient that you're using 4 tools to do all the things that we're doing?
The answer is you're not.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And that's actually, so the reality of it is I wanted to jump into it, and you started jumping into it before. Our tool set is called the SMS platform, right? And we have different variations of that. You can go SMS Cloud, you can go SMS Essentials, SMS Premium, and SMS Now. Our newest offering is Advanced Security Package. All of that to say, can you give us a bit of a rundown? You talked about that layered security approach. Can you give us a little bit a little bit of an inside peek into what that layered security approach actually looks like?
Yeah. So what we do, kind of the way that we think about it, just as a fundamental level, is we first get through content filtering, and it's like, hey, anything that you're viewing, anything that could be downloaded, those types of things, we block the stereotypical things that everyone would know and think to block.
Yeah.
I think a differentiator for us, I've been at 3 different MSPs, I've said before, this is the only one that does it. We go through each of those categories with the client during onboarding. It's like, hey, this is what we normally set. What don't you like? What don't
defaults.
you? Yeah. There are times when we need to edit those. So at one point I was working not here, but someplace else. We ended up not taking them as a client because they were working to fight trafficking of women and children and stuff like that. So by nature, they had to go to seedier places on the internet.
Yeah.
And so this MSP was unwilling to budge on some of those things because it was too risky.
Interesting.
And so we have a way specifically with the content filtering where we sit down and that's a conversation.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be you get what you get and you like it.
It's a black or white. It's not a black or white.
And so if we're going to come in and be a partner with you, we want to be a partner with you.
Let's make it
so
make
where
sense.
are you going? What makes sense? And that's an ongoing conversation. In onboarding, we say it all the time. Hey, this is what we'll set. If it's a problem, let us know. We can talk about it again.
But this is why it's so important for technology partners to understand business goals.
Yep.
Because I think so many times in our industry, people are competitors, our industry, they come in, they're like, hey, we're just going to slap a standard solution onto your business. And it doesn't make sense all the time. And so for us, one of our main priorities is to say, where is your business or your organization going in this year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? We need to know to make sure that your technology is working for you. And I love that we can sit down on the granular level of what is it that you need and don't need within your filtering.
And you could do category, or you could do, I need to see this page. I mean, we can get that granular as you want to be.
Yeah.
And so it starts there. It then moves to antivirus on the machine. And so it's, let's say it got through the content filtering and somehow something malicious got on, then it'll get it with our antivirus, and we'll look there and make sure that we are able to take things offline. If it deems it bad enough, it will kick it offline. If it's okay, it'll have us action it. We also have after hours that will deal with things if we need to.
Absolutely.
And then we can get as advanced as even application whitelisting, blacklisting. And so it's hey, I'm going to set this thing into, I'm going to let it run for a week, and everything that runs on this thing for a week will be allowed. Anything that wasn't run during that week can't get through.
Could I clarify one thing?
Yeah.
You said the word antivirus twice.
Okay.
Would you say that antivirus is an older term?
Yes, because I'm old.
Fair enough. But could we expand to say, could that be an EDR or an MDR? Only because in the process I deal with new clients, I try to stay away from the word antivirus because I do feel like, I always say, think of this as antivirus on steroids. Yeah. It's the upgraded antivirus. It's the newer antivirus.
Yeah. This is not the Kaspersky, and it's not
thank you.
It's not the AVG free.
That's what
it's
I
not like
I wanted
things.
to clarify that just everyone knows because it's a term we use because it does encompass all the things that we talk about, but now it's so separated to different things.
And the difference,
endpoint detection and response, managed detectable response, all these different things. SIMSOC, you can play that into it a little bit, but antivirus is a good way for everyone to actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I just wanted to clarify.
No, that's good, and I should be using those terms.
No, it's totally fine.
The big difference is, I think of the AVG free and the Kaspersky, or I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Kaspersky.
But, whatever.
Yeah.
But the difference then would be hey, I want you to update virus definitions every Saturday.
That is not a thing.
I want you to.
If any MSP tells you that updates for your antivirus or any security software is a thing, that is not a thing anymore.
And we're going to run on Tuesdays.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
this
It
is
is
real
time, all the
monitoring.
time, 24/7, 365, never stops, always on,
And
always
so,
monitoring.
And so I should be using those terms that you're using.
just wanted to clarify.
And so that's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's much more than just that. I'm not. We have the security hats are not on right now, and
it's also a term that you can still use to relate the conversation and what we're talking about, because people understand it as, oh, antivirus. Yes, I get what you're saying, even though they don't understand the details.
Sure,
but yeah.
But so that at the very basic, and then we've got our RMM, and so that allows us. That's how we do our scripting. That's how we do our patching. That's how we do remote access. That's how we do countless other things, data views, so that we can get you data based on the computers. That's
asset
management. It's like all encompassing. So those are the four like main tenets of what we do. Another one that we have is, and that is pretty popular, that I think everybody should be doing. I know that everybody has it here at InsITe, is training, security training,
Phishing training.
It's like
security training.
So common. And I think I've got some PTSD because there's people who try to get us here, and so I trust nothing. My boss sent me an expense report the other day, and I texted him and I was like, "Hey, is this from you?" It's like, I trust it. If I don't expect it, I don't trust it. Yeah. It's like that's the way that we unfortunately have to live now. But that's something that is a part of our platform as well, and so that we can have the most well-rounded. So it's content, then it's on the machine, then it's potentially application whitelisting, blacklisting, and then it's ultimately training the user. Mm-hmm. And so it's like that tiered approach. If it doesn't get caught here, it gets caught here. If it doesn't get caught here, hopefully the person has taken some training so they know better. And we try to protect on a couple of different areas.
Absolutely. Yeah. More than just a couple too, because our backups go into it.
Yeah, backups go into it, and then it's like
disaster recovery. All of that stuff.
And even like through our NPM process, you talked about disaster recovery. You know, at other places where I did maintenance, it was like I'd restore the DC.
Maintenance.
I'd restore the DC every 3 months to make sure it was fine. Well, here we do a DC this month. We do the database this month. We do so we're going through each one to make sure that they are all mountable, that the backup is not bad. It's like all of those things. So it's that extra effort that goes into it to make sure that we're saying that we're doing what we say we're doing.
Yeah. Man, I really appreciate so much both of you just giving us a lot of good detail into what you do and what it means for our clients to be successful. I'm really, really interested from your perspective, from both of you. What does it look like for the PPA team to be successful?
I would say that we're doing our job so well that we're protecting, preventing a lot of the IT frustration, that clients have free time to focus on their own work, their business growth, all of that. We handle all things IT, so you can do whatever you need. Your time is yours.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Is it less?
Fewer tickets.
That's what I was going to relate to.
Yeah.
Fewer issues, fewer questions.
Tickets. I also think that we have fast response times to things. So if an issue does come in, we can quickly fix it, get you back to work.
Communication is there.
Communication, all of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, success looks like knowing our client's environment. And so that's having good documentation. That's finding new things in the NPM process. And that is knowing when patches are being pushed, knowing when new computers are coming online, and making sure that we have those things taken care of as they come up. So if something happens, we don't have to run to documentation. We don't have to spend 2 hours in investigation. It's no, we're in this. We know what we're allowing there in a fully managed, and we work with you in a co-managed situation to know what's there so that we can solve the potential issue that much quicker.
And would you say it's understanding clients as if they were your own, and anyone that knows they use outside IT as an MSP, we have lots of clients. So being able to feel like every client is your own and understand them and be comfortable. Oh, I already know what to do for this client, all the things. Our onboarding process, that gives us all the information. Our onboarding is so important, and that could be a point of contention because there's a lot of effort put into onboarding, lots of hours, lots of time and effort. We do this for a reason. We can work with our clients on what that looks like, but having you guys feel comfortable in knowing, understanding everything makes it so much easier for everyone.
And that's strategic why
Yeah.
the onboarding process is with the PPA team.
Yeah,
is because
absolutely.
we are in there all the time.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason that we are in there. And I think that, we could be like, I will not say other MSPs, I will say the 2 MSPs that I've been a part of, to just go in there and slap our agent on things.
Yeah.
We could do that. And then when you call, we would have to take an hour to figure out what is actually there
No
before
good.
we can fix it. And then there's frustration all around.
Success has not been made for the client or us.
I have been on the other side of the aisle. I have been the guy with an MSP involved, and they always felt like the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you used 15 minutes for what? Or you used a half hour for what? I didn't ask you to, that's not what we want to be here. We want to be a part of your team.
Well, and that I think is what makes a difference between a partner and a vendor.
Yep.
And so something that I keep encouraging my advisory team is, hey, listen, we need to be so we need to know our clients so well that we're solving problems in our minds when we're not that busy. You know what I mean? We or when you're driving on your way to work and you're thinking about what you're going to be doing for that day, you're processing an environment, you're processing the business problem, you're processing, hey, how can I help develop a solution to streamline with a Microsoft app or whatever, which by the way, we did an episode of last month. Check that out.
But I mean, that's exactly it. It's the Windows 10 process.
Exactly.
You weren't thinking about Windows 10 to 11. You weren't thinking about it a year ago. All of a sudden you read on whatever that it's end of life next month. That's been on our radar for over a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've had emails out to say, this is coming. What
All
do you
of
want
our
the plan to
clients
look
know.
like?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to drop 30 hours this month? Okay.
Let's plan it out.
Let's do 3 for the next 10 months.
Yeah.
Leading up to it.
Yep.
And so it's things like that we are trying to solve before it becomes a problem so that we can do it in a way that's digestible.
And I love that this mindset of intimately knowing your portfolio or your client goes from the consulting all the way to, the day-to-day of the DPM and MPM and the PPA team, right? Yep. You guys do such a great job with that. I'm so thankful for
it. Is
for
a
the
fun
work you
role
do.
to be in.
Yeah,
It's a
you
fun
guys
role to
do
be in.
great. You do great. Hey, let's keep moving here. There are a couple things I really wanted to ask you as it pertained to kind of the relationship between the client and the PPA team specifically. What is it that if you wanted one thing to for our clients to know about your day-to-day or about the PPA team or something, if you could let them into your day, what's one thing you would want them to know?
Just that there's so many moving parts.
Okay.
There's so many people involved. Like Tim said earlier, we're a collaborative team. We all work together. So what was the example that you used earlier? It was you were looking at something and then Benjamin's like, hey, this is vulnerable. Okay, so that works with this and this. So we're looking at small parts, but also the overall picture.
The big picture.
The big picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Holistically, what does this do? It's one piece to many puzzles.
Yep.
Right.
So how does it all correlate? Yeah.
I
Cool.
think the one thing that I would want them to know is I understand sitting on their end that to go in and have this SMS that we're talking about and then to have a bank of hours or seeing that part of that is going to maintenance could be hard to swallow. to say it's like, oh, they're just saying they need 5 hours of maintenance just to pad so that they can do like that. That is where a cynical side of me could sit from their end. But knowing what I know and what I do from day to day, it really is, we want to help you so that things are done before they're problems.
That 5 hours could be saving you 100 hours.
Yeah.
And you guys make it so clear that I have those conversations up front. And when we are quoting our services and we divide up the number of hours we want to use per month for different reasons, maintenance is a piece of that. Most times the question around hours is, do you need those? Our minimum is like, no matter what kind of operation, facility, building, environment you have, 4 hours is basically the minimum of things you need. There's always questions. Do you need 4, 5, 6 hours for this? I said, thank you for asking. We absolutely do, and this is why. And I start giving them details, and they stop. Thank you.
Yeah.
They hear what I'm saying, and they say, that makes sense.
And I think it's because they have gone from places that just say, hey, I need some maintenance time.
Exactly.
That can pad, and hey, it's like, that's where we're going to make up our margin.
They are blown
As an
away
MSP.
by the things that I described that we do.
And if you were to come and sit down between us, and like, if you have questions about what we're doing, like, if you're a client of ours and you want to know, by all means, come ask.
Let's do it. Let's talk.
And so there are facets to what we do behind the scenes that you may not realize as a part of the PPA team.
Did we talk about how our MPMs that the clients get a copy?
We didn't
Okay.
report at the end.
Yeah. So as we're going through and doing all the tasks of our monthly preventative maintenance, we are also making a
Report?
report summary that goes out to the client so they can see what we did that month. Of like, hey, your backup's great health, or hey, your firewall needs to,
Concerns.
like, firmware needs to be updated. So we're opening this ticket. We'll work with you. Pick out a good time. We'll schedule it. Don't have to think about it.
And you're not only communicating to the client, but the advisor on the account as well. So
Exactly.
if the client's kind of like, okay, yeah, I love the report and everything, they're not going to do anything about it, but the advisor is going to follow and make sure that is part of the strategy. Hey,
Right.
Shae said that this is something, there's a concern here. Let's tackle it at some point, make it a priority, get it in the list.
Well, and even more so than that, we make that available to our whole team as well. So if a call comes in, L1, L2, advanced engineering, they say, hey, this has come up. Why hasn't this been addressed? We can go and look and be like, oh, yeah, this is on the plan to take care of. We've already identified those.
I think that also just goes back to the partnership side of things. Like,
Good point.
yeah, we're asking for these 4 hours. We're saying we really do need this, but hey, this is what we're doing with it. And we're showing you that result and that benefit.
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you could give one piece of advice, say there's an organization or a business who's really thinking about, hey, we've got an IT director who's super overwhelmed, like needs a good partner and is like in the market for shopping, or whether you're maybe somebody that's smaller, don't have a sysadmin or an IT director, you're just a business owner and you're like, hey, I need help. And they want to be strategic about their approach to an IT partner. What's one piece of advice for free that you'd give them?
I would say know where your pain points are. And so if you are, I think about that from both ends. So a business owner that knows we need IT, figure out what your pain points are and that what you don't want to do, and get a partner that will partner with you and do those things. If you are a director of IT, figure out what your pain points are, what you don't want to do, what you don't have capacity to do, what you don't want to hire to do, and find a partner that will do those things for you and work in a collaborative manner.
Collaboration.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Ditto.
Shae's got it. She's like, I like that. That's what we're going with.
That's a really good piece of advice.
Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, again, can't ring the bell of PPA enough. We are so thankful for you guys here at InsITe, and we wouldn't be the organization today that we are without you guys. So thank you so much for the work that you've done and that you continue to do, and thank you so much for joining us today. It was so fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.